So, Colton, have you seen 2001: A Space Odyssey?
I have now.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of I Don't Watch Movies. Joining me is Seth and Colton.
What up?
This is the first time that you're seeing us, well, at least in this form.
Sorry, it's broken already.
We've broken the camera. No, I hope not. But yeah, so episode 4 is 2001: Space Odyssey, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, before we do, I want to talk a little bit about, I saw this thing recently. So there's this whole new, it's not really a whole new trend, but it's a new trend that I'm enjoying. And it's people recutting movies that they think are too long or too crazy, like there's too much information. So I found this guy on YouTube. It was like random suggested for me, as he recut the Hobbit trilogy. Mm-hmm. And it was freaking awesome.
I just want to say, you notice how you automatically, when you started talking, you turned away from me.
Because I'm like, if I say The Hobbit, you'll be like, the what?
No, but okay. I'm not under a rock. I know what The Hobbit is. Okay. I've just never seen it.
Okay, well, you don't need to. I should send this to you, and we should like review that. But
this is like how I got through school. I just like did the highlights, and then that was it.
Well, that's what this guy. That's what this guy did. So I remember.
I'm telling you, this would have been a lot better for 2001: A Space Odyssey if I had this version.
Yeah. It's like Spark Notes.
We'll get there, but I'm just saying I would have appreciated this.
Yes,
this version.
I believe you, and I knew that was going to come up. But the trilogy of The Hobbit is like every movie was like 2 hours long. So it was like 6 hours, maybe 7 or 8, depending on what versions you watched. And this guy cut it down to 4 hours, and he just made one movie of it. Yeah. And it followed the book really well.
Wait, so it was the whole series cut down into like 4 hours?
It took the 8 hours and put it of 3 movies and put it into one movie as 4 hours.
Got it.
And it was freaking awesome.
Was it more like only the book stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he cut out like the love interest between the dwarf and the elf. He cut out Legolas because he wasn't in the book at all. Mm-hmm. He cut out all of the necromancer stuff. He even cut out Radagast.
I liked the necromancer stuff.
So it was interesting, but it wasn't compelling enough. And they made like Galadriel and Gandalf have like a love interest.
Oh.
It was lame. So he cut all that stuff out. Mm-hmm. And it was great. Even with so I had issues with the trilogy because it was like my favorite book growing up. Yeah. I think I've mentioned that before. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but I think
you did.
I think I did. Like I feel like I always mention it
because I really like the book too.
Yeah, the book is fantastic, and so to see a movie that was just so disappointing. Mm-hmm. It just bummed me out. So just watch this version, and I had just read the book, I reread the book like a month ago, and then I saw this, and I was like, oh, I'm really interested. I want to see it. I want to see what the guy did, and it was awesome. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was like, dude, you should be hired as like a Hollywood editor. And then I go onto the guy's site. It was like, I forget his name. We should give him a call out, but he only has like 2 videos on his YouTube, and he was like, yeah, I'm not motivated to do anything. And I don't know if I'll do anything after this. And I'm like, dude, you just took like a whole crazy. But that was awesome. And I the reason why I was saying it was like it was like a trend or whatever, because I remember Topher Grace, he recut the prequels of Star Wars, episodes 1, 2, and 3, and he was like, yeah, I cut them down. I didn't watch that. I've watched others, but I didn't watch that one. But that one was like more famous, where it like brought re-edits by a third party to the forefront. People were like, you can do that? And
but
I'm
what
like,
would you? I was trying to think of what you would cut out.
I know,
because I mean,
the sand part.
Yeah, just that part
everywhere.
And that's it. Yeah, but
have you seen this? Have you?
No.
Is the rain happening right now?
It's been happening. Everyone can see. It's been happening for a long time.
We'll cut to the close-up. Now that we have video, we can cut to the close-up.
Yeah. Slow zoom.
Well, so what I thought you were going to say is, have you seen the clips of... I see it a lot on music videos, but it'll be cuts of when they say a specific word or something. For example, Justin Bieber, the song Baby. Every time he says baby, it speeds up. That's what I thought you were going to say.
That's a very interesting. It's a very meme edit thing. Yeah, they do It's like B movie, but every time they say B, it speeds up 5%.
Yeah, exactly.
that's right.
That's
Or
what
like
I thought you
real
were going to
strike
talk
too.
about.
It's just like.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were getting to. But
No, we talk
yeah.
about real movies on this podcast.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You didn't think Justin Bieber's baby
No me
music
minutes
video was a
allowed,
real
Caleb
movie?
says.
Oh, Justin Bieber. But anyway, so should we get into it? Should we just dive in?
I think
Yeah.
so, but I want
Uh-oh.
to start with a brain teaser.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Gina and I do this thing every once in a while. We've taught
For those who don't know, Gina is his wife, his
Yes.
pregnant wife.
my pregnant wife. Yes, my lovely wife. We have
Hi,
this.
Gina.
Hi. We have this. I always ask her. I'm like, hey, if space travel ever became like a reliable thing,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like airplanes are today,
Yeah.
would we go? And her answer is no. And I want to know what your guys' answer is.
Well, if the result is the same thing that happened in 2001: Space Odyssey, definitely yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be awesome.
I want to be Superman.
You want to be Superman?
You don't get it. Okay. Okay. Well, we'll talk about that. That's coming up.
Okay.
Right after this.
We have no commercial to cut.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
And
you
I hope
can't-
you leave that in.
Are you bored? Do you like movies?
Okay,
Watch
stop.
our podcast.
There you
Yeah, watch your podcast. You are already watching.
That you're already
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah.
Make sure you watch it again. Anyway.
So realistically, would you go?
I think
I
it
thi-
depends on where and how long.
Okay.
That's hard too, because is it like Mars is terraformed so that we can actually walk around?
No, just like, let's just say like a space flight. Like you go around the Earth 1 time, 2 times, whatever, and then you come
Oh,
back.
it's just a space flight?
Yeah.
Then, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be kind of, I want to say it would be boring, except for William Shatner just went and he was like, it changed my whole perspective on everything. And I'm like, oh, well, interesting.
Yeah,
Not that he's like the wisdom of, or the fountain of
he
No,
just,
he is. I
he
know
just
he
played a
is.
famous spaceman
Let
on
me
TV.
tell
Yeah.
you about
I
this thing.
just wonder because like you get up there and you realize Earth is just like a dinner plate
Yeah.
because it's so flat.
Yeah.
Boo.
I mean,
I was waiting to see where you were
Hate
going.
that. It's not that type of podcast. It
Next
is
time
round.
we should have
We've already been
crafted like aluminum foil hats to wear for
Be like,
this
hello.
episode.
No, that's for when we do like the conspiracy theory movies. Yeah.
That'd be a good one. Like in Kanto. I'm just kidding.
What?
I'm just kidding.
What was the Brad Pitt movie where he went to space to find his dad?
Ad Astra?
Ad Astra. Did you see it?
I think I did.
Did you like it?
I don't remember. I don't remember much about it.
Have you
I saw it
heard
when it
of
came
this
out,
movie?
but-
No.
Have you heard of Brad Pitt?
Yes.
Okay. Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, I've heard of Tommy
Okay,
Lee
cool.
Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did a movie where they go up and they go to
Was it
I-
was it Tommy Lee Jones or was it
Tommy Lee
Donald
Jones.
Sutherland?
No, it's Tommy Lee Jones.
What's
is his
Donald
dad.
Sutherland? in? I'm
Donald
thinking about?
Sutherland is Tommy Lee Jones's dad, I think.
Oh,
So
I haven't
And
seen
then
it
the
in
baby
forever.
mama is a
Amy Poehler.
baby Poehler.
Oh my God! What
And the
casting!
sister?
That casting
Tina Fey.
director. That casting director, brilliant.
Yeah.
But anyway, they go to like the moon for because he's gonna go out into the. He's gonna go way out in space.
He's going to
find
get
his
milk.
dad. He's gonna go find it. No, his dad went to go get milk, and now he's gonna try to go find his dad.
He was like outside of, he was it Jupiter or Saturn he was
It was
ordering?
yes, and
Or
so
orbiting.
and so he went to
Ordering.
ordering Jupiter.
We're hungry.
Can I get a side of Jupiter with that Saturn, please?
Yeah.
But-
Uber Eats Galactic.
can you get a side of Jupiter
with
your Saturn?
Thanks, Squidward. Yeah. But anyway, so he goes on the moon to get like a ride that goes further, and while he's there, these guys attack him because they don't want him to go further or whatever. I forget. I remember I really enjoyed the
That's a
movie.
life
Yeah,
lesson,
it was like
really.
But
it was like a rover chase and they had guns.
and they like
It was
they're like
crazy.
What?
Yeah.
it's like all quiet.
They had
because
like a Glock on the
in-
moon and
in space,
and it was
no one
but
can
it was
hear you
like
shoot.
it was like multiple rows of seats
Yeah.
too. It was like if Disney made a ride of a moon
On
rover.
space,
It was
yes.
weird.
Yeah, it was great though. And so
Yeah.
like they're shooting and the guy is like and he's dead. Because in outer space, you die. It's a vacuum. It's freezing, no sound, nothing. You just
We're gonna
die.
We're gonna come back to this.
No. Yes.
We're gonna
yes.
come-
Oh,
we're
I
gonna
know,
come back
I
to
know
this.
exactly
We're gonna
what you're
come back to
talking
this.
about.
Yeah.
I know exactly
Yeah,
what you're
we're gonna
talking
come
about
back to
because
this.
it would not happen.
We're gonna come back to this.
But anyway, so that would be my only concern about space travel is that it
Glock.
is so. The Glock is.
They're gonna get cap. They're gonna pop a cap in your
Oh,
space.
no.
They're gonna pop a cap
Well,
in space.
you know,
It's also my fear.
I did grow up in the wrong side of town.
all
so
right.
It is a legitimate fear.
I grew up on the wrong side of the crater.
Yeah,
There you go.
he grew up on the
I-
dark side of the
that's
Oh my
moon.
gosh,
what I
that
was
would be
just
such
gonna say.
that'd be such a funny movie. It's like I grew up on the wrong side of the crater or something like that.
And it's on the moon.
Oh, that'd be so funny.
Man, there's already come up
There's
with
already
movie
movies
ideas.
about like there's everything on the dark side of the moon. There's aliens. There's Nazis.
China.
There's Transformers.
Yeah.
Like so many movies about the
China?
other side of the moon.
It's so random.
No,
what?
it is. Like
What?
China has a whole base on the dark side of the moon.
What movie was this?
Is the movie with China on the dark side of the moon? I don't know. I don't
That doesn't
remember.
help me. I asked
know,
you
I
what movie
gotta-
it was.
Is that the
Dude,
plot line of
I watched-
Afterlife?
No, I watch so many bad movies that I forget half of them. I mean, I'm bad with names
Yeah.
anyway. I forget your name, and my brother's name is your name. So, I'm bad
now,
with
now I
names.
know where I stand.
Yeah, for real.
You stand on the same level as my brother.
My brother Craig.
Just barely on the dark side.
Oh, that's great.
All right, let's get into it.
Jump in.
Let's get into it. All
Open
right.
the books.
So, 2001, A Space Odyssey,
Mm-hmm.
made in 1968, directed by Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
Am I saying it
good
right?
job. Yes,
Kubrick?
you are.
All right, starring, and I'm going to butcher this.
Oh dear.
Keir Dullea?
I don't even know the name.
I don't either.
All right,
It was
I
in
wrote
the
them down,
70s,
but
I
I
don't
don't know
care.
who's
Gary
who, really.
Lockwood and William Sylvester. Supercomputer HAL 9000 guides astronauts on a trip to find the origins of humans.
You can say that again.
This has a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Did you know that it flopped when it first came out?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk about how I watched it this time.
Okay.
All right, so
Is this different than the other times that you
it
watched
is.
these movies?
Well,
Okay.
kinda. But
Did you watch it with Gina?
No, I didn't
Oh.
watch it with Gina.
You're welcome, Gina.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, this would have been a hoot.
Oh my gosh.
perfect
no.
date night movie.
No.
Well,
no,
I
no.
think we already know what Colton thought of the movie. But
Yeah.
anyway, go
All
ahead.
right,
Continue.
all right. So, I watched this on Amazon this time.
Okay.
And when we did Godfather, we watched it on Amazon as well, but we had it on the TV. This was different because I watched it on my laptop
Okay.
this time.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is, have you guys watched anything on Amazon like Prime recently?
Yeah.
It pops up with little facts.
Oh,
Yes.
the X-ray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's
yeah,
in
yeah.
the scene?
Really, really cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
That's
I
cool.
think that it's actually like really beneficial.
Yeah.
The first fact that popped up about this movie.
Oh no.
241 people walked out at the premiere.
Yes, I was gonna say that.
And I'm just saying this for the record.
Oh.
I would have been number one
Can I?
to walk out.
Oh.
Let me tell you.
Hang on. The age group of the people who walked out.
It was rated G.
Yes, but the age group of the people walking out were grown-ups. They were like 50 years old.
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah, because they
watching
have
this.
common sense.
Oh no.
Okay.
No.
All right. Let me tell you something.
Is this going to be a fighting podcast?
This
Yeah.
one might be.
Where we come to
And
It
you know
blows?
what?
honestly
That's
might
okay.
be.
Listen. I understand.
2 minutes in, I wanted to shut it off.
2
minutes. I stopped to see where I was at. 2 minutes.
Okay, so remind me at what
It
part
did-
were you
Did
at?
he find the monolith yet?
Hold on. No.
Okay.
Oh no.
If you watch it, the first 2 minutes are nothing but sounds.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's just black. And it's just sounds. That's it for the first 2 minutes.
Okay.
At 4.5 minutes, the movie actually starts.
Okay.
You see like your first screen. Like you see what it's actually going to happen. At 9 minutes, I wrote, this is borderline unwatchable.
Shame.
Oh man, okay.
But see,
If you agree with him, leave some comments. If you disagree with him, like
Okay.
the video.
but see,
As someone who does, and I'm fired up about this.
okay.
I can
As
tell.
someone who doesn't watch movies, I had no idea what was happening.
It's okay. People that do watch movies still have no idea what's going on.
Like,
yeah,
We are
But,
going
you
to
know,
enlighten you.
my
it's just
very last
vibes,
note
you know?
for this,
like you
it's
just
not
vibe
just
out.
the vibes that I was experiencing was apes screeching for like the first
I love
20
it.
minutes of the movie.
That was a real leopard.
I
Yes.
know.
That was a real leopard, a real
It
dude.
was a real person got his
he
head.
was a circus. He's
Thank
like a
you,
circus guy.
Amazon X-Ray, for telling me that.
Dude, oh man, you're gonna take all my fun X-ray
Sorry,
stuff away.
sorry.
I did not watch it on Amazon. I actually
didn't
watched it on
either.
HBO Max. Hey,
I
if
did
we're,
too.
we're looking for
Oh.
some sponsorship.
What's it-
HBO Max.
What's it like to be rich?
Oh my
I
gosh!
watched it on HBO too.
I steal it from. I steal it
gosh.
from my brother.
I
It's like-
rented it for $3.99.
Not an ad.
Oh my! The two people who would actually enjoy
Okay.
watching it watch it for free, and you watch it. You pay money.
I'm putting
And you're
my
like, I gotta turn this
hard-earned
on.
money into this. To
Not
have
an
apes
ad.
Scream
But
at me
HBO
for
Max
9
is
minutes.
like one of the best streaming services
It
right
really
now.
is. I love it.
All
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying
love it.
is I put $3.99 into having apes screech at me for 20 minutes at the start of this
Love
movie.
it.
But my very last note that I have
Wait,
for
wait,
this
wait.
entire thing. Hold on.
For the whole movie.
For the whole movie.
Wait, you're giving it to us now? Is that a spoiler?
No, it's
Okay,
not.
okay.
But it sets the tone for what I'm like this whole movie for
yeah,
me.
yeah.
What is this even about?
Okay. Okay. Should we go through the notes of his notes first, and then we can walk through the movie?
Yeah, that's fine.
Like explain what's going on.
Go ahead.
because-
Hey,
go
can I
ahead.
read
Because
you a- can I read
I
you
know
a
there's
quote?
different acts and like stuff like that. I know it's kind of broken out. Like there's a literal intermission in the movie.
Yep.
So I'm fine if you guys kind of want to like break it out section by section,
Okay.
and I'll give my thoughts. Because you don't want me to just go down this
So
list.
the end is supposed. Well, the whole film is supposed to be ambiguous. You're supposed to glean from it what.
Why are you saying so many big words?
I'm not saying these aren't big.
No. SAT words, everyone. Study up.
I didn't do well on my SATs, so that makes a lot.
I never took
sense.
SATs. But anyway, so
Did you take ACTs?
no,
Oh,
I just went straight into college. I went into college young.
Weird flex. And you watched it on HBO Max? Holy cow. Anyways, go ahead.
Anyway, it's supposed to be ambiguous. It's supposed to be what you get out of it. I mean, there are certain aspects of it that
Right.
are like this is exactly what it means, and then this is what do you
Yeah.
think it means? Like
So-
that's what you're supposed to
So
get
I
out
have
of it.
a
Religious,
quote.
atheist, whatever,
Okay.
scientific,
I have
whatever.
a
Alright.
quote here from Arthur C. Clarke, who was one of the people that wrote the movie.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "If you understand 2001 completely, we failed. We wanted to raise far more questions than we answered." So, I would say their intention was met. With you,
This was
Maybe a
just
little
having
too.
good
Maybe a
questions.
Maybe a
little
little
too much.
too much. Like I
Yeah.
understand having like a movie with like somewhat deeper meaning
Yeah.
and like trying to relay some things that they don't necessarily say.
Yeah.
yeah.
But please tell me what 20 minutes of ape screeching at the beginning. I want to.
Oh, can you guess? Can you guess?
No, I don't want to guess.
I want to see.
Oh.
I want to see what you got from it. Like, what was your interpretation?
So once again, right? I look at things somewhat very literal.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm like, this is just ape screeching. That's all I could hear. In fact, there is a specific moment at I think it's 9 minutes and 30 seconds into the movie where there's it's a specific cut of this ape that's just like doing this and screeching, and that's my experience watching this so far.
You're just going.
I'm just like, what am I watching?
Hey, can I say this too? So I was like taking notes and whatever, and it was around this part. I put in parentheses, I bet we're already losing Colton.
Yes.
I predicted it.
Yeah,
There are
100
definitely lots of moments where I was thinking the same
if
thing.
I have to look back and I have to think about it, it probably was. It was probably symbolic about like humankind progressing, right? Because he got like the bone and he started using the bone, and then it was probably like the downfall of man using like technology and new tools and stuff to like
There you go, kid.
outcompete others. I think that's probably what it was about. But all I heard was apes screeching for 9 minutes.
But it's so
Yes.
fun.
It's supposed to symbolize human enlightenment, where they become like aware
Yeah.
Mhm.
and they use tools
Yep.
and they start to eat meat. And
Yep.
that's the whole theory in evolution is like they,
Yeah.
apes started eating meat and that
Yep.
pushed their brains and then they started to evolve differently. And that symbol of the bone going up and transitioning into the, that was
Yeah.
at that point, that was the most powerful weapon. They used it to kill the other apes.
Mhm.
And then it transitions to the most powerful spaceship that we had.
It was like
we had at the time.
because I think because it didn't really come across because it wasn't like, I think there wasn't really like any visual language used to imply it, but everything I read was that the like satellite thing it transitioned into was supposed to be some kind of like orbital nuclear weapon.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So like it went from one weapon into like the most
Another.
advanced of the time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The monolith.
I didn't catch that.
So what do you think of the monolith? The big black.
You know what? I think a few years ago when they started seeing the monoliths like pop back up again, that was a really good PR campaign
it's
for this
fantastic.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like, 40 years too late, but
40 years. Yeah, we were off by like 20 years, but
well, we did it. We did a campaign.
Yeah.
No, so what do you think of them? What is that to you?
The monolith?
Yeah.
It's just a monolith. There's nothing more
no.
to it for me.
Okay.
No.
Well, so it's supposed to be symbolic of a higher power or a higher being. So it can be like a god.
Well, yeah, it's
Like if
higher. So you see how tall it was?
And we'll be right back. It's supposed to symbolize, like, if you're going to look at it religiously, it's supposed to symbolize like God's connection with man. And if you're going to look at it scientifically, it's supposed to be like aliens, whatever, something bigger, higher, smarter, more advanced than us came down and influenced them.
Yeah.
So like the monkeys come and they're like touching it and they're like, ah, and then they all of a sudden start using tools because they've been enlightened. And so that's to symbolize the great enlightenment. And then the next time that
if I didn't have 2 minutes of just sound and then another 4
it's
minutes of
getting you into
apes
the mood. It's
screeching,
getting you into it, you know?
yeah.
I feel like the whole movie you were just like, oh, those darn apes.
Why did
It
I
sets
choose
the
this? Why did I
tone.
choose this?
Listen, first impressions are everything.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, not everything, but they're a lot.
No,
It means a
they're
lot.
the whole thing.
Something interesting I read about the monolith was how it could also act as like a mile marker for like the intelligent life they meet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the first one was kind of that spark of the evolution of the apes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they find the other one on the moon, which is like, okay, when they progress here, they can go further.
Right.
And then they have the
Jupiter.
one
Oh,
at
that's
Jupiter.
interesting.
Yep.
And that's when they'll like meet us and then evolve past that.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. It's very much a movie about
Obviously, I
like
didn't.
evolution.
Obviously, I didn't think of a lot in
Yeah.
this movie
That's
because
okay.
I was too worried
No, it's
about
okay.
apes screaming.
Yeah.
The whole time.
He was like, why the apes?
I want to
Have the apes stop
I want to go
screaming.
back to when the apes do like use the bone and hit the other one. I just want to remind everyone, like, have your homies back. Like they hit him one time, not
And
hard
like, "Ugh."
either, and he just falls. And I get it, it's a movie.
Yeah.
But like, have your homies back. You know.
Like, jump him.
Well,
But he has
He's
the
got
weapon.
a tool, and they're
He's
like,
got the
"What is he
weapon.
doing?"
Yeah.
yeah,
Because they don't know what that is.
never
yet.
had
exactly,
that, yeah.
exactly.
And they're
I-
like, "What?
Because they've
What's
never
happening?"
Yeah.
yeah, it makes
can do
sense.
that?
But I'm like, wow,
You
just-
can do that?
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like when they bring out the chair in the wrestling ring. Like,
Yeah.
what do you do?
You can do that?
Dude, the
Yeah.
whole game has changed.
It has. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So then we go into the next scene.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want to preface it a
No,
little bit?
go ahead.
All right. So this actually, I had a thought here, and your reign is about to start, and Seth and I are going to talk for a second.
Oh.
All right. I mean, your mental reign, like
Oh, okay.
not
okay.
like power reign.
I know. I was like, well, you guys are gonna talk, but I'm gonna be raining. Like
Yeah.
what?
Okay. The model that was used for the shot,
Mm-hmm.
the ring model.
Yeah.
You've been to Epcot.
Yeah.
Have you rode Mission Space?
Yeah, I have.
Does that not remind you of the big giant wheel
Oh,
in
yeah.
Mission Space?
It does.
I thought that was the exact model,
Yeah.
and it's not.
No, it was like, because the ring space station model was very popular at
Yeah.
that time too,
Yeah.
because you could get the, is it centrifugal or pedal?
Centrifugal?
Yeah, is it that one?
I think so.
I can't remember. Tell me if I'm wrong, but it's that force that like gives them the artificial gravity. So it was like everywhere, all kinds
Yeah.
of concepts used
Yeah.
that. And it's so cool.
I also thought, kind of jumping ahead a little bit, and I actually
In the
went-
movie?
in the movie, yeah. So the next the spaceship that's taking them to Saturn, I thought when we edit this, we're going to have to put the two images up side by side.
Okay.
But in that same queue for Mission Space, there is also another model that is almost identical to the one that was used in this movie for Saturn. It's like segmented. It's like a large back end, and then there's like segment, just like the other one, and then a large front end. And I went back and I watched a ride POV and like look through the queue and stuff because I thought it was the same exact thing. I was like, how cool would that be if it was like two worlds?
So we're not talking about the movie.
We were. It was the spaceship. It was the spaceship that they went to Saturn in, but it's like that same model was
probably like heavily influenced it because I mean this is a heavily influential movie.
So they had a huge bet on Pan Am making it.
Yeah,
is really what
I know. When I saw it was Pan Am, I was like, hey, at least it wasn't Southwest. He would have still been on Earth.
Yeah, his flight would have been canceled about 3 times. Yeah,
sorry, Southwest.
He would have been offered a Chili's gift card.
Yeah, but not real Chili's. Chili's too in the airport.
Right, gosh, guys,
Chili's to go. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, holy product placement with Pan Am and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it gets worse because not only was it Pan Am, but
IBM, right?
Bell phone systems was also what they used.
Also, I looked this up because I'm a graphic design nerd, and also I love Saul Bass. He's like one of my favorite graphic designers.
Yeah,
he did the cool Bell logo that was more like simplified and modern. But in that one, they have like the older one where it's more like the realistic illustration.
Right.
If it had come out, well, it wouldn't have been designed then, but if it had come out 1 year later, it would have had Saul Bass's logo.
Wow.
And it would have looked so much better because it would have looked so like futuristic.
Yeah.
I was so sad about that.
Yeah. It's like, it kind of stinks because like you put all this money and companies like pay companies pay to put like their products and stuff in movies.
Yeah.
I think Apple, for example, I think we've had this discussion. I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast before, but like Apple, they're fine with people using the iPhone in a movie as long as it's the good guys and not the bad guys.
Right.
Because
that was just for the one movie though, Knives Out. Like that was their big deal. They were like, okay, hang on. If you're gonna put this in the movie, we want only the good guys to have it. No, that was bad guys.
I thought with Knives Out, it was because like that was a thing where it was kind of the trope of they're a bad guy if they don't have an iPhone or they're like suspected to be a bad guy. So that's why he gave everyone like Androids or they didn't have iPhones.
Oh well, I could be confused because I thought that I had read an article where they were like, no, we're just gonna do iPhones for the good guys
but I think with that one it was that he wanted everything to be up in the air. So he didn't want you to say, oh well, they have to be a good guy.
Yeah.
Just like spoilers.
I don't know.
If you see it,
right.
if you would see the Knives Out trailers, it's spoiled who's gonna die because they get the "and" credit because they get less time on screen. So
is that
spoilers?
A thing? Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, for the Knives Out movies. Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway, okay, so
all right, sorry.
Jump in.
So, anyways, it was once again the Amazon like X-ray thing was really neat, and a thing popped up. This was released. Okay, there's the scene with like the pen, for example, right? And the pen's floating, and the lady grabs it. They did that using glass.
Yeah,
and they used double-sided tape. Double-sided tape was invented that year.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
That's
wild.
That's Stanley Kubrick, though. He
didn't invent double-sided tape.
No. But he was so inventive and so. Do you know how smart he was?
No,
he had a 200.
This is the first time I've seen any of his movies.
His IQ was 200 or more.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean the guy was brilliant.
He's very particular
he was
too.
Very particular.
He
infamously
knew how to use double-sided tape.
He innovated with his filmmaking. Like all the stuff that he did, it was all innovation. Like it was all brand new. It was like, oh my gosh.
I give credit to some of that later on.
Okay, cool.
I do.
That's good. But I just want to let you know, like the stuff that he did was revolutionary. It changed how movies are made,
right,
and how people see movies, especially like his older movies, he would do like these beautiful landscapes, and you do like more of a natural lighting because people would just light stuff and it would look like a stage play or whatever. It was just like lights. There was no shadow. There wasn't anything, and he really revolutionized.
I thought it was really cool. I mean, because also on the little X-ray fact, it said that if you look close enough, you can see the reflection, like you can see her pulling it off the glass.
Oh.
Yeah, and I thought that was neat. But double-sided tape.
Yeah,
Holy cow!
awesome.
I forget that
like
this movie was made like 50 something years
It's
ago.
cool because they had like
old.
it was like a big circular sheet of glass on like this rig with like ball bearings, so they could spin it.
Yeah.
so it could kind of like look like it was floating, and then she just boop.
Yeah. It's
It's
really
so great.
it's really neat.
Yeah.
It's cool, but I don't know why I'm just like double-sided tape. Whoa.
Because you just don't.
great.
I think we just take it for granted, and we don't realize like it's still pretty recent.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. So we go from he is on the flight. He sleeps a lot, by the way. He
Yeah.
slept on 2 flights. I guess when you're going to the moon and
Yeah.
Jupiter, it's
He was
fair.
jet lagged.
Or the moon, wherever. Jet lag, yeah. But is 2001 A Space Odyssey, did it inspire Star Wars? And the reason why I'm saying that is because there's the scene where the ship is pulling up to the cargo bay or the docking bay or whatever. That same like cargo bay, docking bay outline is very reminiscent of Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
For me, 100%.
How would you know? You've never seen Star Wars.
I have been on Rise of the Resistance
Oh yeah.
in Hollywood
So
Studios.
you've never seen any Star Wars?
I've seen one.
Which
Which one?
One of them. Can't remember.
Is it the
What?
first one?
What happens?
I don't.
A New Hope?
It's the one where his legs get cut off and he
You've
turns.
seen- Yeah. So the only one you've
What?
seen is Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah. I
Oh,
think
Are you
so.
kidding me?
Oh my
No.
god!
How did you do that? That was like the end of the 6 movies.
Sorry, I appreciate
That's
classics.
crazy.
Just kidding. Just kidding. No, I
Man.
don't know. It's the only one I've seen.
I don't know how you managed that.
You know what? We don't know what you've seen.
We don't. It's a toss up
We've
every
talked
week.
about this.
We have these suggestions, and it's a toss up. You surprise
Anyways,
us all the
Yeah.
time.
Yes, it inspired a lot of what Star Wars was, and so the big thing that Star Wars did that others didn't do is they made sound in space. So it was like, and
Yeah,
you heard the
yeah.
ship like,
Yeah.
like all that stuff, like
Oh, I heard every single noise in this movie. It's hard not to.
because it's so quiet.
Oh my god!
Do you know that Stanley Kubrick? That's his voice.
Yeah.
That's him.
Do
That's
you
him
know? I thought this was like an ASMR video for a second.
Before it was cool.
I was like, I'm really glad I'm not listening to
That's
this like
great.
in public without headphones or something. All I'm hearing is just.
Yeah. And then the
That's what
and then
it sounded
then
like
you have
the whole
hiss.
time.
You have the hiss of the oxygen
That's
tank.
right.
Oh my gosh, and it's so loud. Like
love
I
it.
had my headphones on like one,
and it's still like
and it's still
grating in
so
your brain.
loud.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to make an ASMR video.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
People don't want
From this,
Yeah.
somebody's gonna do a supercut of
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Be like,
Oh yeah, 100. Every time we breathe, they just speed it up by 0.5%.
and then our laughs.
Yeah. So I
I don't know who laughs.
so
like that.
I was really, anyways, I was like, oh, this reminds me a lot of Star Wars
yeah.
because, and I don't think you've been there. You haven't been on Rise of the Resistance.
Oh, it's so
Nope.
good.
Okay, it's so good. It is like
I'm gonna just zone out for a minute now. Go
no,
ahead, you
no.
guys try.
Honestly,
No.
it's one of the most impressive feats of technology I think that there is when it comes to like entertainment because there's so many different things that go into it. One, okay, Seth and I are gonna do a separate episode where we're
That's
just gonna
fine.
break down Rise of the
And
Resistance.
you could just
Yeah.
use a
But-
cutout of me like
I
sitting
know.
here
But
like
the big reveal in that, spoilers if you haven't been on Rise of the Resistance, one of the big reveal is you get transported and then you get captured. And when you get captured, you walk out and you walk into that cargo bay.
Yeah, you walk into the hangar of a Star Destroyer.
oh okay.
Yeah.
And there's
That's
like
cool.
a giant
Oh, wow,
TIE
that's cool.
fighter and stormtroopers, and it's
Yeah.
awesome.
And they
Are
have
you walking around or is this like a video where you're
no,
like,
no,
No,
no.
you walk around in it.
You walk
There's a big-
into the physical.
There's
like,
a video
thing.
screen like
That's
at
cool.
space in the back, but it's like a physical hangar.
Yeah, and they have
pretty
have stormtroopers. They have like 100 stormtroopers set up, and like some of them move and look. So it's like very very
Yeah,
realistic.
and then you
It's
go through
really
the
cool.
Star Destroyer.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
cool. That's pretty cool.
Anyway, so I obviously I learned that this was made before Star Wars. Sorry, but
It's okay.
I was like wow, this reminds me of like some of the imagery I would see in Star Wars. All right, so my next note after this is they predicted FaceTime pretty well.
Yes,
Yeah.
they did. Yeah,
That
they
was
definitely
spot
did.
on.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
I wonder when did FaceTime actually like start? It wasn't
know.
2001. It was way
No.
later.
Well, it depends on what your definition is. Are you talking about like actual video calls
No,
or
I'd be talking
like the phone?
I'd be talking about the phone thing. So
Oh.
like
I don't
FaceTime,
know.
I don't know. I think it was like 20.
I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
It
But they
was,
got
it
that,
was 2000 something.
they
Yeah.
got that spot on.
Yeah.
I thought that was
That was
I thought that
awesome.
was pretty good.
I want to say like 2010s,
Yeah.
but I could be wrong.
Probably.
yeah. I think
Sometime
you're
in
right.
there.
2011
At least where it was
maybe.
more widespread.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I just can't believe some people don't have an iPhone still. Yeah, that's wild.
It's Caleb not.
Let me just say,
He's the
I'm
bad
the bad
guy.
guy of this podcast.
It's been revealed early.
Oh no!
So obviously, he gets onto the ship. There's another product plug for Hilton
Yeah.
Hotel,
Yeah.
which I was kind
One
of
of the only brands that's like still
That's
around
still
in a big
around.
way.
in this whole thing.
They hit a home run on that one.
Yeah.
They whiffed on all the others.
the Hilton family empire was built off of
Oh.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
Thanks a lot. 2001.
So this is where I thought the movie was going to go one place, and it didn't at all.
Oh,
So they
that's good.
No, I think I would have rather seen
Oh,
it go the
no.
other way.
Oh,
So
Darth Vader walks in, you're like, yes!
I'm like, this is it. What? Never mind. We're not going to go into that. What if 2001: A Space Odyssey is a prequel to Star Wars, and this is the origin story?
I mean, it doesn't really make sense, but okay.
it doesn't make sense because of the first words of Star Wars. A long time ago,
In
in a galaxy far, far away.
Well, this is
No,
I
but he
don't know.
goes to it's in our solar system still where he goes to.
Just saying, maybe.
Maybe.
Think
There's
about it. Think
about it.
It's ambiguous.
Think
If you
about
don't
it.
The
Let
movie's
me know how
ambiguous, yeah.
wrong I am in the comments,
Yeah.
but think about it.
If you don't think about it for more than 3 sequence.
Yeah, just
could
do me
happen.
just do me a favor and look at it for 3
Do him a
seconds.
solid.
Yep.
Let's do it.
All right, so I thought that he comes out of the FaceTime call, video call. It's so ingrained in our language now.
Culture.
But so he comes out of the call and he has the meeting with the people sitting down. And I thought at this point this is kind of where it was going to turn, and there was going to be more about like this epidemic that's broken out on Clavius, which is the moon base that we know in the next scene. But I thought he's like, there's an epidemic and we don't want it to spread to the rest of our crew, and it could affect the Soviet people in our research lab as well. And I was like, did they predict COVID? Because I didn't realize what they were talking about at first, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're 2 for 2.
You're like, whoa, man.
FaceTime and COVID. Wow. A little different. I mean, 19 years apart, but it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's not about COVID. We're not going to get into that. But then I realized this will not really come up again.
Yeah, because it was a it was a cover up for what they were actually
Correct.
doing.
Correct.
Yep.
Yes. And so that's why I was like, oh, I kind of would have liked to see it like go that way.
Yeah.
Like I thought it would have been like it would have been cool if they addressed it again, just to kind of like tie up a loose end. But I think they kind of do in like the boardroom scene,
Yeah.
on the next scene.
Yep. Yeah.
So this is where I have a question for Caleb. Okay. They have the boardroom scene.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, it's talking about, we're trying to figure out what this is, yada, yada. He travels. First of all, let's talk about those sandwiches, all right, that they have on the transporter on the way. Perfectly cut, no crust. Glad they had a ham one. If anyone who knows what I'm talking about is like, great.
It's funny that you bring that up because they talk about food in this movie
Yeah.
highlights different aspects and different areas and how important
I just thought
is.
it was a ham sandwich.
Nope, it actually
Oh
it
my
means
gosh.
something. But go ahead. Sorry,
All
keep
right,
going.
all
I
right,
just
all
thought it was
right,
funny
all
that
right.
you brought it up.
So they go to the monolith
hmm
that was from the beginning of the movie.
Is it the one from the beginning of the movie?
Hold on. This is where I was confused
Okay.
because I'm assuming that the monolith from the beginning of the movie was on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
This one's buried on the moon.
Uh-huh.
So were the apes on the moon or were they on
No,
Earth?
it was on
No.
Earth. It was on Earth.
No, remember earlier
That's-
I was talking about like one of the things I was reading about it was like those were kind of like mile markers for the aliens
Yeah.
to say like, okay, when they get here, they
when
can
they
get
get
here.
to this step to get further out.
Yep.
So like there were multiple.
And that's why it started communicating with Jupiter at that point.
Yeah.
And they're like,
That's what the buzz was?
Yeah.
Once again, can we talk about the sound in this movie?
Yeah.
Why
It's
do I
great
have
sound
to
design.
listen to a high-pitched sound like that for a solid 30 seconds? I mean, I understand. Make it like a whistle, you know, like a dog whistle, not like a audible tone.
But if it was
it was a dog whistle, you couldn't hear it.
You'd be like, why are they covering their ears?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's
interactive.
All I'm saying, it was
Yeah, you're like, ah!
it was a lot. And my note for this was, so I have already listened to apes squealing, classical music, people wailing, and now a high-pitched noise. What could be next?
I love it.
Oh,
And
just
oh,
wait.
buddy, if I only knew what was coming
Yes.
next. It's
Oh,
a
boy.
lot. It's
It's
a
so
lot.
good.
So it kind of cuts to after that, they are on the ship that's going to Jupiter.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought this was a really cool little tidbit. Once again, it's
Amazon.
Amazon X-ray.
Nice.
The interview that they do, if that interview was like a real interview to someone who was actually on the way to Jupiter,
Mm-hmm.
each question would have taken 7 minutes to transmit,
yeah.
meaning the entire interview would have taken about 2.5 hours.
Right. Yeah.
That's wild
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
think about.
That's crazy, right?
That's so crazy to
Yeah.
think about. And I was like, wow, I kind of like at this moment, I kind of thought like technology, how it is like now.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like obviously, I think in this decade, we're going to put people on the moon again. And like we're going to, hopefully be like going to Mars next and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And I just wonder, like, are we going to have those issues?
Yeah.
Or you think
because
so?
because it's less of a technology thing and it's more of a distance thing. Because
Oh, yeah,
that's
you're
just
right.
how
Time
that's
and
just how long it
space.
takes
Yeah.
to get the transmission there.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was really interesting. Like someone sat down and was like, huh, I wonder how long this would take. You know?
Somebody did it already.
Someone
Yeah,
did it.
they
Someone on Amazon deserves a raise for that.
Okay, Jeff Bezos, let's go.
I'm stamping the approval that he deserves a raise. All right, he or she. So then during the interview, it comes in that, you know, we meet Hal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, love Hal.
Hal is just a Ring doorbell.
Yeah. No, you know what Hal is?
What?
Hal is an Amazon Alexa.
Oh, you're so right.
Because when he says like, when
I'm
he's
sorry,
like,
David,
open the
I'm
pod
afraid
bay
I
doors,
can't do it.
Hal. It's just me telling Alexa to turn on my lamp.
Yeah.
And I love it so much more because it feels like it feels like more real now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because it's like now
Yeah.
that's so much a part of our lives.
It's crazy. So you think about all these movies. There are horror movies. There's drama. There's whatever. No other medium predicts the future like sci-fi.
Yeah.
Sci-fi movies, and
Or
even
The
even like
Simpsons.
sci-fi radio.
Yeah.
Well, The Simpsons parody the 2001 Space Odyssey like
They parody
all the time. They parody
everything.
everything, and
Yeah.
if they,
Yeah.
if Simpsons did it, whatever.
Right.
But it's sci-fi films.
Yeah.
Predict so much of the future. Think of Minority Report.
yeah.
Think of like anything. It's there. It's amazing. So sorry. Go ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
definitely thinking about the Minority
I
Report.
bet.
Yep.
Dude, that's
100%.
one. That's
movie.
one that you need to. That's a good one. That's a nice Steven Spielberg.
Listen, we
Tom
have
Cruise.
a lot of episodes that
Yeah.
can be made
Yes.
of things that I just have
Yeah.
not seen.
Yeah.
Really? We should make a podcast.
Yeah. The
You guys-
prehogs
are we doing
prehogs have come back with their report. Colton's
right.
gonna watch Minority Report.
yes. Yes.
Anyway, so I looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, that's a Ring doorbell.
Yeah.
But it's really funny. I mean, you bring up a really good point about like, you know, it's just integrated into
Yes.
our lives now.
Yeah.
And I think it's becoming more and more prevalent. And I actually have, this is a little bit of a side note.
Oh,
I have a story about Alexa,
okay, do it.
and I don't want to say it too loud if like anyone's listening.
In case Alexa's listening.
Alexa, lamp off, just in case.
She can read lips, man.
I know. You're spoiling it. You're
Yeah.
not there yet.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
We never
So-
did a spoiler alert for the movie. Sorry.
Well, I mean,
know.
we're talking about it, so,
So-
you know,
Yeah.
context clues.
We have Alexa in our house.
Mhm.
My parents 1 year for Christmas got me my first like little Echo thing. And I was so excited to try it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is like really cool. You know, like I got the light bulbs and everything, and it was just me, you know, by myself. So I was like telling it stupid stuff like, hey, tell me a joke, you know, all this like dumb stuff you can do with Alexa. I found out you can set it up to send like text messages. And I was like so excited to try it. So I was like, Alexa, tell Gina, I love you, babe. Miss you.
Oh, no.
Or something like that. Because
Oh,
we
I'm
no.
can't.
sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
I'm sorry, Colton.
The ring turns red and it's just like, it starts
Ow.
pulsing. No, so anyways, I look on my phone and it says, I love you, beep, miss you.
Alexa, betray.
Alexa betrayed me. I called Gina immediately.
And
I was
she's
like,
like,
I'm so
"Hey."
sorry. I don't no. Like I did not mean to see that. She was like, get rid of it.
That is
So we didn't use it for a long time.
Oh my gosh.
And now we have it in the house. And for some reason, I think it's just like set up to maybe to really recognize my voice and not hers. Alexa does not want to listen to Gina. And I think Alexa is like the jealous girl
Yeah.
in our household.
She is literally Alexa is
100%.
literally.
I have a
Hal
mini Alexa
9000.
story.
Yeah.
So this happened like a couple months ago.
These are your clips.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
in my house and I was just like sitting on the couch and I get a phone call from an unknown number. And so I hang it up and I'm just sitting like watching TV. And then I hear my voicemail message, like hey, this is Seth, call me back, whatever. And I'm like, where's that coming from? Because my phone, there wasn't anything on it.
Yeah.
The Echo Show in my office, for some reason, called my phone.
That's weird.
And so I had to go in there and hang it up. It was weird. I don't know
That's
why
so
it did
weird.
it. I don't know if it heard something. I don't know why it called me.
It had a mission that was more important.
That's it.
Yeah, it did. It was malfunctioning.
It was
It's going neurotic.
Yeah. All right. So after we learned that Hal is just a Ring doorbell, that's really, really smart. We see that Hal has a conversation with, and I don't remember the character's name. All I know is Hal in this movie.
Dave is the one that is alive longer.
Okay.
Frank is the other one. And then I don't know the names of the guys in hibernation.
All right.
Dave,
Well, they
Dave
don't-
survives.
Well,
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but they don't matter anyway. So,
I mean, they did to somebody,
We saw his family.
not to
Yeah.
Hal.
So Hal has the conversation with him, and you kind of get the motion that like, something's gonna go awry here.
Mhm.
Like Hal's becoming too smart. In the interview, they talked about like, oh, he doesn't have feelings, he doesn't have emotions, but you kind of sense that he's learning these types of things. It's a very, obviously this was made in 1968, but I think it's a very common like played thing when it comes to talking about AI in the future and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Is
Mhm.
all these AI things are going to go like awry, and
Yeah.
what was the Terminator thing? What was that company called?
Cyberdyne was the company. Skynet was the program.
Skynet is what
yeah.
I was talking
Yeah.
about. Because I've definitely seen it.
Have you?
No.
Okay.
So
Have you seen 2? Arguably, we could just watch 2 and not watch 1.
No,
No.
you have to start with one. You have to start with one.
If we had to. If
I
we
mean, that's
only
a good
wanted to do
one.
one
Where-
episode.
Yeah, that would 2 would be great.
2 would be the best one.
But
Two would be
anyways,
great.
so you kind of start to like notice that Hal is something's gonna go on with Hal, and then it kind of goes to they are going out to repair the antenna that Hal says is broken, and this is when the ASMR stream starts because it's just
yeah.
for like the next 3 minutes. And you don't realize how long 3 minutes is until you hear in your ear. It's so long. And, you know,
I'm sorry.
it's true.
I'm sorry. It is. It's very
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
Colton's like the scene in this whole movie. I'm just picturing him at home, and it's the scene in Monty Python and the Holy Grail where everybody's just like, "Get on with it!" You know?
Yeah.
it's the monkey from 9 minutes and 30 seconds, and Worm's like,
He's just going, come on.
like that's
Do something.
That's my whole thought through
That
this
is
entire
so
movie.
funny.
All right, so you know, they're going to replace the antenna, and Hal, little rat that he is, hits the guy with the pod, the EVA, you know, thing.
Yeah.
And it's a turning point.
And how does he find out?
No, this is after that. So they bring it in. They find out that there's nothing wrong with it, and they're like, "Well, we'll just keep going." And then he goes
you're
out
right.
because he's
Yeah.
gonna go out
You're
and shut. He's gonna
right.
shut down Hal.
I forgot about
This
this
is
part.
this is after they talked and Hal read their lips.
Yes. You can
Yeah.
tell I was definitely paying attention during this part.
Okay.
So you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. So Hal reads their lips.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they go into the pod.
And they're like, we got to shut him down. We got to kill him.
We got to shut
like,
him down.
essentially, we got to
stuff
kill
like
him.
that.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So after that, that's when they go out to, you know, replace essentially what they took out.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And, you know, Hal hits the other guy and he's just gone.
Yeah.
Zooming.
See you,
Yeah.
Frank.
Does the same spin for 30 minutes. Because in all honesty,
That's what would happen. That is literally what
it
would
is
happen.
what
They
would
just
happen.
go on forever.
Exactly. However, how many times do I have to watch it cut from him moving closer to him spinning in space, to him moving closer to spinning in space?
I love it. They're just
It's
there.
so long.
It's such a, it is a technique from the 60s. It's a technique of film, like, you know,
what was the purpose of it?
to build up suspense, tension, everything, literally
For
everything.
40 minutes?
Yes, because
Yeah.
that was it.
Oh.
That's all the. Think about this: in the 70s or even the 60s, 70s, 80s, you were gonna go see 2 movies, maybe 2 movies a year, 2 movies a month max.
I guess that's fair.
So you're gonna go in, you're gonna get your money's worth. And these movies were like, I mean, they were not fast moving like what we have now, where it's like for one punch you're getting 17 angles. It's like, this is what we're doing, and this is how we're showing it. This is how we're telling the story. So it is a completely different mindset of the people who were watching it then and what they're trying to show you. So it's just different.
Also, like,
That's fair.
up until this point, there hadn't really been anything that like realistically depicted space travel.
at
And so
all.
this is like how EVAs go. This is how like any kind of docking process is. It's very slow. It's very meticulous.
Yeah.
And I like that because I'm a space nerd. And so I'm like, oh, yes.
Well, I mean, it's a good point. Like, I just think as someone who, and granted, I'm seeing this in 2023 and not, you know, 1968.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, come on, let's go. Get on with it.
He's dead. He's dead.
You
He
want-
catches
He's
it.
dead.
All right,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Moving
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want Hal to do like a TikTok dance or something. You just scroll past to the
Yeah,
next.
my attention span. I'm just like, all right, come
That's
on,
how-
let's
that's how
go.
Sounds
movies
like
are
the
gonna
robot
be.
from Megan.
I honestly think that, and I'm not joking when I say this, I think movies will definitely still have their place, but I think more and more short form content.
Yeah.
is
Probably.
You want
100%
Quibi.
Yeah,
good.
we'll see.
Oh,
which
Quibi.
failed.
It
But
did.
now TikTok is basically being Quibi,
Exactly.
which is, I think it's just,
Well, think about Vine. Vine was,
Yeah.
you know, it's a similar
Vine was
thing
ahead
like
of its
that, too.
time.
yeah.
100%.
Well, I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's just weird because like with Quibi, it was like, okay, this is, people just want a quick bite. They just want short form content they can watch anywhere. And I think it was just maybe a couple years ahead.
early.
Yep.
And so nobody was ready for it
Do you-
yet. But then TikTok came and they're kind of like easing into, okay, now we can do like 10-minute videos and now we can do longer form content.
Yeah.
And so I think they kind of like primed everyone for it.
I think that there will always be a place for long form.
Yeah,
definitely.
100%.
People are still on YouTube, like people are still dying to get like a 2-hour long podcast or interview or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are, I mean, the movie James Cameron's film,
Avatar?
Avatar 2 is 3 hours long. People
Yeah.
are gonna still go.
I
see
heard for
that.
Avatar 3, he turned in a 9-hour cut. And his idea is he wants to do
you
like
better
a 3.
not even suggest it.
He wants to do
I
a-
promise you, I won't
his-
spend an entire day.
his
with it.
idea-
Avatar 3.
Nope.
His idea is he wants to do like a 3-hour theatrical cut and then release a 9-hour cut to streaming. Because his thing is like,
That'd be interesting.
That would be an interesting
Yeah.
way to do streaming
That goes
to where
right
you could
into-
get more content.
That's
Yeah.
literally what we started the podcast with, like
Yeah.
talking about like cutting down for certain things and then like having a longer form. That's
Yeah.
interesting. That's really interesting.
It's really interesting. Yeah.
I do want to say about this part.
Okay.
When Hal starts killing, all I could think about is I just kept hearing "I Did Something Bad" by Taylor Swift playing. Because Hal is in his reputation era, and he is coming for revenge.
Yeah. Seth is a big Taylor Swift fan.
I'm not a big Swiftie. Like, I don't know her social security number. Okay, so I love
hope
Taylor
nobody
Swift.
I
No,
hope
I
nobody
don't.
I'll tell you.
does.
I love Taylor Swift, but like, I would feel bad about like going to her concert because I'm like, there are people more diehard than me.
Yeah.
and I wouldn't want to take their
Yeah.
place. But anyway, that's what I heard, and so I had to make an edit of the scene where he kills Frank.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let me have it pulled up.
That's great.
Oh wow.
That's
good.
so funny.
Oh my god.
I was like, I have to make this
All right.
edit.
Audio listeners, trust me, you have to go over to
you
our
gotta
YouTube
watch
page.
it. Watch it.
We'll put it up there. You have to watch it.
That's
That
Every
was
awesome.
so
every time he would
funny.
kill somebody, I go, they say I did something bad. Like just in my house alone, I would sing it
That's-
every time.
That's so funny. All right, so after Hal starts entering her
Reputation.
her
era.
reputation era, so Hal then, I mean, just goes on a murdering rampage. Really,
Yeah.
I mean, he kills the 3 crew members that are frozen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But while that scene is happening, you know, he's still going out to get the other one who got knocked away and stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What I thought was interesting, once again, we really should be sponsored by Amazon at this point, but Amazon X-Ray, it's a really cool way to watch it
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it gives little details. I guess that scene where he finally catches him
Mhm.
is, it's like spun up or it's like fast forwarded by like 4 times or
Yeah.
something like that. The stunt double that was caught during that scene was like severely bruised.
Yeah, because it was shot in slow motion, and so
Yeah.
it was like faster than what it is on screen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
so
gosh.
to look like it was in space.
Yeah, so he was like severely bruised, and it
Yeah.
was like you feel really bad because it doesn't look that bad, but
Because it was, but that was like 2 or 3 times the speed, if
Yeah.
not more.
Yeah.
right, yeah, I thought that was,
I did read that too.
Yeah,
That's
I thought
fun.
that-
Intense.
I thought that was
Not fun for him, but it's a
Yeah.
fun fact.
It's a fun fact, but it's not fun that
Yeah.
happened.
No.
So, you know, he goes back, he captures the guy that got knocked away, and he goes back, and Hal reveals that he knew because he read the lips
Mhm.
and saw Seth's video
Yeah.
that
He said he did something bad, but why does it feel so good?
that, you know, there was a plan to disconnect Hal.
Yeah.
And this moment, once again, the sounds are coming back into it because it's a very loud, like, I don't want to say like screeching, but it's like a very loud tone that plays over him going through. And, you know, it's just, it's so loud. Like the sounds in this are just, anyways. So this is where we get to the continuity error. And then we also get to the problem of the vacuum
Yes.
chamber.
Oh, for
Mhm.
100%. Yeah.
I watched this and immediately I was
You're
like, oh,
Nope.
that's
he's dead.
cool. Hold on. Because I saw, you saw the foreshadowing of like explosive bolts, every
Yeah.
time the pod door like shut.
Yeah.
And you get that. If he would have done that, he'd be dead instantly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Instant
Not
death.
having a helmet on,
It dead.
his head would have literally just exploded.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. Because he's like lifeboating with the oxygen from inside and the pressure change. And so he's literally using it to just shoot him out enough to where he can get in, turn the hatch, and then
Yeah.
the oxygen
But
comes
the
back
problem
in.
Space
is-
is such a vacuum, it doesn't matter. It would have sucked them out. I mean, a pin, like a tiny little hole in a spaceship would suck you through.
So-
it would suck your body out.
So this is how I relate this is you guys have seen the show Mythbusters?
Yes.
Okay, they do an episode where because down at like the bottom of the ocean, there's so much pressure and stuff like that. Space would be the same exact thing.
Yeah.
I think.
Well,
Yes. No, it's very similar.
It would. So what
Because
they
what
do,
they do is they pressurize the stuff.
yeah, they pressurize the
And
suit
so
and
it
everything.
yep.
Yeah, they
or
pressurize.
it wouldn't be heavy pressure. It would be
No,
not a lot of pressure.
It would be heavy pressure.
but it's a vacuum though. There's nothing
in
pushing
space,
against you.
It
right?
just pulls out. If there is pressure, it just releases the pressure
Yeah.
completely. Yeah.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is like at the bottom of the ocean, you have to go like against that pressure.
Right. So you
have to pressurize your suit to just keep it normal for you. But in
Correct.
space, it's like if you didn't have your suit pressurized to that equilibrium, you would just
yes,
expand
exactly.
out.
I'm sorry.
But in the ocean, you would probably like
it's the
collapse.
opposite. Yes.
Okay, so the opposite fact, he would balloon up and
Yeah.
explode that
Yeah.
way
In space. Yeah.
in space. Yeah. But it reminded me of this episode of MythBusters where they put like a human mannequin or whatever down at like the bottom of the ocean, and they use like pig organs or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they like cut the pressure off, and it just like you can see a helmet can and it just explodes.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what would happen. Now, granted, we preface by this was like the first time that we were really talking about space with this movie, and like a lot of people had seen that, so they didn't know.
Right.
But
Still. I had
Yeah.
the same thought
Still.
even watching it. I was like, oh, yeah,
Now.
I forgot about this.
yeah, I was like, wow, okay, that's kind of,
Yeah.
it takes you out of it for a
Yeah.
second,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
still.
I think about this scene whenever it's really cold outside and I don't wear a jacket because I'm like, I'm just going into work. And
You're
so
just gonna
I have
run in.
I have the heat on in the car, and I have to like light vote that heat I have saved in my body to the
Hang on to it.
to the
Yeah.
door. I'm like, hurry, I gotta get in.
You step out and it's like automatically gone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So there's an actual continuity error in this next scene.
Because he has a helmet on.
No, because he gets that from
As soon as he gets
the
inside.
hatch and
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
When he goes and he's walking to Hal's core, room area,
Mm-hmm.
if you look when he's entering, the glove is disconnected from his body because it's supposed to look like kind of like a sleeve went over it or
Mhm.
whatever, and it kind of like coupled in.
Yeah.
If you look, it's disconnected, and then in the next scene, it's reconnected again.
Mhm.
Oh, Stanley, that 200 IQ, man.
Unbelievable.
Can't believe you.
Can't win them all. Which also I saw that like it was somebody had said that the length of film they actually shot for the movie was over
Would
like
bring you to
200.
Jupiter.
It was like it was over 200 times the length of the actual film.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is
Really?
how much they shot.
Everything
Yeah.
that he shot went
We're gonna
over,
get Colton
but-
that cut.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No shot.
All right, keep going.
Anyways, thanks again to Amazon X-Ray. There's conspiracy theories out there that Kubrick directed the moon landing.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. That's like one of the smallest of conspiracies.
What? I didn't
Yeah.
even know that.
So there's a film that
he did a great job. I mean, it looks spectacular.
No,
He
it
did.
actually happened.
He
I don't
did-
watch movies, believes the moon landing happened. And that the earth
Says,
is
You
round.
can't-
says who?
You can't.
Says me.
Hey.
I'm putting
Anyway,
my foot down.
So the conspiracy is he worked with NASA because he wanted to create a lens that had a specific shape that would let light in,
Mhm.
so that low light would make it so that he could film
Right,
without
right.
many lights around. So he worked with NASA there.
Got
He
it.
worked with NASA like 2 or 3 other times, and they're like, why is he the only filmmaker that can work with NASA, that has worked with NASA, that's like making stuff with NASA? And then in other movies, like he did a film called The Shining, and in that movie, there are like subtle signs that he's saying that he filmed the moon landing because of the kids wearing Apollo 11.
But
and
I'm
all these
sure
other
that's
things.
kind of just like a jab, right?
I don't think so. It's interesting. There's a fantastic documentary called Room 237. It is one of the funnest. It is so fun to watch, and it's all about like people's experience watching The Shining and other Stanley Kubrick films, like their first time, and they're like, I was walking out of the theater and I was like, oh my gosh, that's what that meant. Holy cow. And like, it's just really good. And they use his movies to like fill in the B-roll. So if somebody's telling a movie, like I was walking down the street and I was having like these thoughts, they're using shots of Tom Cruise from Eyes Wide Shut walking down the street. And it's like really, it's really well done. I highly recommend it to anybody out there. Colton, I highly recommend it. It's a documentary. It's really good. But anyway.
I actually like documentaries way more.
They're great. We might have to do a documentary day. That would be great.
Okay, I have a pick.
No,
you have to watch it for a documentary.
All right, what is it?
I have 2, actually.
Okay.
All right, let's finish.
Let's finish. And then at the end, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw them.
I don't think you have. Not these ones.
Maybe.
All
Okay,
right.
go ahead.
All right. So after this, he goes in and he starts undoing his memory and stuff like that. And I like that it actually says like memory and stuff. You know, those big 6 sticks of memory now would be like, the size of like a pin tip. You know,
well, I don't know. Maybe it's like that would be like a server room now to run like a big app or something. Like.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking, what it made me think of is like there's more technology in our iPhone than there was that put
the man
on the moon.
Oh yeah,
allegedly.
Okay, we are not going down this rabbit hole. We're not doing it.
Of Caleb.
Anyways, so we, it kind of like it goes. Anyways, I thought that was like just really funny that it's like giant sticks of memory that now would, that whole thing would fit in this computer right here. And then it transitions to he's going to Jupiter. And these special effects. These special effects, I put them in the context of 1968. They're pretty good. But why do I need 20 minutes of special effects like this?
What are you talking about the Stargate where he's going in the psychedelic time?
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
It means I'm watching these special effects for 20 minutes.
It's so fun.
What do you think it could mean though? Like outside of the 20 minutes?
I think it's, to me, the way I interpreted it when I was watching it was like, because they don't do warp drive or anything like in this. That's what I interpreted it as. Like him getting to Jupiter quicker.
He's at Jupiter when that starts happening.
Okay.
You see a monolith like flipping through the air and stuff, and he comes in contact with it. So
see, I didn't catch that at all.
He's going to another dimension.
Yeah.
That's what the special effects
He's
are.
evolving.
Well, no, not yet.
But
no,
I need 20 minutes to figure that out.
Was it 20 minutes, really?
Apparently, I needed 40 minutes to figure that out because it's so long.
Yeah.
I want to know if you cut out like the apes screeching, the 30 minutes of and then the 20 minutes of this, it would be an hour-long movie.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, when it came out, like at first there weren't like a lot of people going to see it. And so MGM was like, oh, we need to pull this. Like, we'll just have to consider it a flop and go on. But then movie theater owners actually were like calling MGM and like, hey, don't pull it yet. Because we're actually getting like steady streams and like exponential growth from younger people that will smoke a little pot before the movie and enjoy they'll like sit in the front rows and watch the Stargate scene.
Who was it that
psychedelic?
Somebody did shrooms and was like, "Whoa, this movie was great on shrooms." Like somebody back then, and so then people started flocking. And like
I
doing
believe
it.
Shrooms, I mean, that's influencers.
Yeah,
because what it was back in
then.
Yeah.
OG
influencers. That's it. So I mean.
Not that we condone doing shrooms and watching 2001: Space Odyssey.
Yeah, that's just what happened.
That's just what happened. We're just telling you what happened.
Yeah, that's what happened. So anyways, and this is kind of a question for you guys. Like back in 1968, this was kind of pushing the boundaries of special effects and things like that.
Yep.
It makes me wonder, and I feel like I already know the answer to this, and people are gonna be like, "Yeah, duh," but like, I think a lot of time people just do these really wild things just to push the boundaries. And I think that's what, to me, like I realize a lot of this movie is like just
challenging
like what people would consider normal for a movie.
Yeah.
And so like I recognize that at the end with like the special effects.
Yeah, because he
definitely.
Well, he definitely hated sci-fi movies of the time.
Well, he wasn't So when he went to do movies, like he did a ton of different genres.
Mhm.
Like he started with documentaries, then he went on to like he did Spartacus, which is like an action movie, and then he did like the period piece, the
Yeah.
2 period pieces, and then he went and did Lolita, and then he's like doing this.
Yeah.
And it's like I can make a masterpiece in every single genre.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, he started to just like watch every piece of sci-fi. I don't know if he maybe I could be.
Yeah, because I'd
totally
watched
wrong.
a documentary about this movie, and I want to say it was Arthur C. Clarke that was talking about it,
Mhm.
because he was talking about how Stanley Kubrick, like they would talk about like sci-fi movies, and of course like the B movies of the time that were more like the low budget cheesy sci-fi he didn't like, but even things like Fantastic Voyage he didn't like. Like he didn't even like Fantastic Voyage that much, and so he was like, oh, I can make a better one than this. I
Yeah.
can make one like the pinnacle of like special effects, but also like filmmaking,
And it
too.
means something. Like it
Yeah.
has an actual meaning.
And that's
like
what
Yeah.
a
and that's
deeper
what I'm saying.
meaning.
Like I think that I recognize that that's what this movie was doing. But once again,
Do you need
do I
40
need
minutes?
20 minutes of, those
Yeah.
special effects?
Just vibe.
It-
Just vibe with it.
Just vibe with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. You got
No
it.
sound, just vibes.
Yep. So
They've gone plaid.
So he goes
I can
through.
just think of
he
Spaceballs.
goes through and he goes from being in the spacesuit. He's old, which apparently it took 12 hours of makeup,
Oh yeah,
which holy cow.
yeah.
I could not.
I mean,
I
they
can
do
barely
that-
sit through 2.5 hours of this movie, let alone 12 hours of this.
To make a 5-minute scene.
Yeah, to make a 5-minute scene. But it transitions from him being in the spacesuit to him being in the chair to him being in the bed, and then the monolith is standing right in front of him. And the note that I have is, he ends up at the Grand Floridian Hotel.
Yeah.
Because if you
It's based on a real hotel. I forget which one it was.
But do you know what that is? That whole scene. Like what does that mean? What is that purpose?
I've already told you I
I
don't.
know, but
I didn't know what the apes meant. I just heard
initial
screeching.
I'm trying to stretch it out. I'm trying to get your brain
like initial thoughts.
so
What do you think it means?
It's probably just like the progression of us getting old.
a little bit.
Well,
He's-
you
he's-
get a little bit from me.
No, that's good. He's in a zoo, essentially, to put it on the lowest.
How do you get that?
The aliens are watching him progress,
Yeah.
and then they interact with him again. And that whole scene with the monolith, and he's like reaching out. Have you ever seen?
It's just like being reborn.
No, in a sense, yes, being remade into a Superman.
Yeah.
So he's there to reach the next level of human evolution.
Yeah.
And that's why he's like reaching out to the monolith. And it is so similar to
Creation of Adam.
Michelangelo's, Creation of Adam by Michelangelo. The painting where
yep.
Adam is reaching out to God and God is reaching out to him.
Yep.
Like him reaching out, that's literally what they're talking about. That's like the next step of enlightenment. And so then he gets sent. Then the end is very, very much up to interpretation. He's sent back to Earth as a child to be this Superman so that all of
This is how the
human-
DC universe started.
No, yeah, he's sent back.
That's what this
Star,
is.
baby.
The only son. That's right.
But
yeah.
you didn't know there was a piece of kryptonite in the
Oh
capsule.
no, not kryptonite.
That baby, Darth Vader. I'm telling you,
Oh snap!
this is it.
But that's pretty much that's the next thing. Like they're just observing him in like the whole room is set up to be like the what is it? The French
It's literally the Grand Floridian Hotel. At
the
Disney.
French Enlightenment. During that whole time is when they're coming up with all these new concepts and talking about all this different stuff,
Yeah.
painting, writing, everything. And it is modeled to be like that era.
Mm.
And so it's very symbolic of him reaching that next level.
So people who watched this in 1968,
That's what they were seeing, yeah.
they're thinking that they're going to die and become super.
No,
man.
they're thinking
That's it.
No, they're just they're seeing this as like there is further for humans to go, to evolve, to be better. And like he
It
reached
starts
it or
with a
whatever.
Ring doorbell.
Yes,
Yeah.
a murderous ring
A
doorbell.
murderous
so the
Ring
whole
doorbell.
thing, the whole thing with Hal is he. Do you know why he started killing them?
You're asking so many deep
No,
philosophical
it's not.
questions.
No, he saw them. They're like, we're gonna turn him off, which means to him they're gonna kill me. And he says, "Oh, this mission. I was told more about this mission than even these humans.
Than you were. Yeah.
And he's like, I need to fulfill my mission.
Yep.
And this is a tool that humans built that is
Yep.
evil, morally evil, because it's killing these innocent people
Right.
that are just laying there,
Right.
whatever. To preserve himself, he's just killing people. And so it's like our advancements that we've created. So we were created by this monolith, whether
Yep.
it be God, evolution, whatever it is.
Sure.
We went awry. So it's like with religion, it's like sin, or with anything else, it's like we went awry.
Yep.
And this extraterrestrial being is like seeing this, and it's like, well, I'm gonna enlighten you further so that you can be better. And so like he goes through this whole thing to come back as like that Superman,
So all these monoliths
is
that
Nietzsche,
people were
the
dragging
space
around,
baby.
the space baby. Yes.
all these monoliths that people were dragging around like 3 years ago, were just about enlightenment.
Yes.
That's it.
Very much so. Yeah.
Wow.
It all makes sense.
It's all making sense now. My
So-
final note for this movie, as
Okay.
I said in the beginning,
Okay.
was what even is this about? Is it about how?
Hopefully
Is
you
it
get
about?
a little insight.
But my thing is the description of the movie, which is supercomputer HAL 9000 guides astronauts on a trip to find the origins of humans. You could take that out,
And it's
and
still
it's
would
not
mean-
even.
Yeah.
It doesn't even like.
No.
There's nothing
Yeah.
in that I'm like, oh, this is critical.
Right. Yeah.
It gives like a
It's-
fun little
it's
plot
because
line for the middle,
it's to get the lowest common denominator to watch it. Like anyone could read
Kinda
that. and
like,
they're like, oh, let me see.
yikes! I just got called the lowest common denominator.
I'm saying descriptions of
All the
movies
peasants
and
will watch
podcasts.
it.
That's marketing. I mean,
My
well, it's also
HBO
kinda-
Max and
It's also kind of like the narrative meat of the movie.
yeah, it
Like,
definitely is.
yeah.
because
100%.
everything else is very
Well, without that, you
conceptual.
you would have no dialogue.
yeah. Well, the first 25
I was gonna
minutes
say
don't
there's
have
no dialogue.
and then the last like 23 don't have dialogue.
Yeah.
It has to be. There's only like 2 films that have less dialogue in it than
And it's probably
that.
like Charlie Chaplin and something else.
because they're silent.
Because they're
films.
silent films. That's probably what it
Hey,
is.
that's a good callback,
Hey,
man. That's good.
I know what Charlie Chaplin is.
man. Good
Yeah.
There you
job.
go.
Woo, look at me.
That's great.
Anyways.
But that's great.
So overall,
oh, what is it? Is it 1 out of 10, right?
no, we say this every
I'm
episode.
sorry.
It's 0 out of 100.
Listen,
You forget
I'm
the rules every
really,
time.
really drunk.
You're not.
So 1 out of 100, right?
It's 0 out of 100.
Oh,
Because there can be a
Oh, snap.
0.
Okay, is this a 0?
I'm giving this a 40.
Okay.
Okay.
A 40.
Okay, so
This I feel like if I was given more pretext and there was more narration at the beginning, if it was not for Amazon X-Ray, if it was not for that, I
Looking
would
for
have
sponsors.
no idea
was
what
going
some
on.
of these things were,
Yeah.
like what was happening.
Yeah.
No.
It is very hard to follow. And it's one of those things where, like, for example, if I came up to you and I was like, hey, you should really watch The Office, but I have to give you an hour's worth of context before you watch it. That's what you have to do for this movie.
Yeah. Okay.
So to me, it's really hard. It was really, really difficult to follow.
Okay.
And I think that I will not watch anything with apes ever again because this movie ruined it. It's just 9 minutes.
They weren't really apes, they were humans in ape
I
outfits.
am aware, but it's just obnoxious.
Okay, so can I ask something of you?
Okay.
Think about this movie.
You're like, well,
Think
will
about
you watch
what we
Planet
talked.
of the Apes?
No.
All right.
I want you to think about this movie. I want you to dwell on it, meditate on it, whatever, and think about it for a while, like a week.
Probably not.
The next episode, or in 2 episodes, or in 3 episodes, we should talk about it again and be like, hey, has your mind changed? Have you thought about this anymore.
Okay.
Like, does it now connect? Because we're talking about stuff, and leave some comments on things that we missed because there's so much that we didn't cover. Leave comments or whatever, and then we'll talk about it, and then we'll maybe get back into
All right.
it and revisit.
I'll make a promise to think about it every once in a while for the next week.
Okay.
And
Just,
see
like,
if my
mull it
score
over.
changes.
Just like,
one
you
thing.
know,
One thing. Go ahead.
just let the wheels turn a little bit.
Yeah.
And just kind of, it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to like sit in your house with like silence.
You guys are going to get a
thinking
text
about it.
message at 3
Just kinda
a.m.
like-
and be like, I'm thinking about the movie. My score hasn't changed.
I'm like, that's great. Go to sleep.
Yeah.
Have you read Homer's Iliad?
Yeah, like in high school,
Okay.
I think.
Because
Yeah.
it's very similar to this, like where he's got to go do this thing,
Right.
and like Hal is like the Cyclops. He's
Yep.
got to defeat the Cyclops. He's
Yep.
gonna go. It's like all about enlightenment and all that
Yeah.
stuff. It's just really interesting, and I think it deserves just a little bit more thought. Just like thinking about it. Just a little
I
bit
will
more.
promise more thought, but
Okay.
I'm not.
That's good.
It's definitely a thinker.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's very complex, and it's got so many like layers to it, and there's like a million ways to
My thing is, why?
like take it
My thing is like, why can you guys not suggest something like Toy Story
because you've
Because
or
seen
you've
something
that.
like
it.
that? I understand.
We have suggestions.
All
You
right.
don't know what
Yeah,
our
all right,
suggestions
all
are
right,
today.
All right.
Yeah.
Irreversible and Requiem for a Dream. Two of the darkest movies I've ever
No.
seen. Yeah, no.
Your movies are too dark.
No, I'm going to pick good ones today. I mean,
Today.
good ones. I have, I have like 3 pages of notes that I'm not even getting to that I'm like, oh, I want to get to, but I won't.
Maybe
I won't.
Maybe
It's okay.
if
Yeah.
people leave
Really
a
want.
comment and really want it, we'll do a bonus episode
That would be great.
where you and Seth can talk about it.
But no, you had to be there.
You gotta be there
All right.
after you've
All
molded
right.
over.
All right,
and you've thought
so
about
what
it.
are-
So wait, should we give our like what did we think about the movie? Because I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, sure.
we like it. I mean, I guess because we chose it or whatever. Then
Yeah.
people know that.
Well,
we
it was
like
my suggestion.
It
Yeah,
was-
so
exactly.
I hope I would.
Suggestion.
So
like
what
it.
would you give it? Since it was your suggestion, what would you give it?
I'm really bad at the scoring thing. I would give it at least like a 95
Okay, cool.
because
Because it
you
is definitely a thinker.
Yeah, I kind of liked just vibing with it.
Yeah.
You know, I like just
He
being
did
able to mull
shrooms
it over.
before we went. I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
I just sat in my house. I flipped on HBO Max and I just said, "All right, let's vibe."
That's gonna be
That's
your,
what that movie was.
that's gonna be your new rain sound. It's just
my
gonna be
new
you
rain,
heavy
yeah.
breathing.
Yeah,
So a 95, really?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All
I
right.
like it.
All right.
But also, I'm a big space nerd, so I love all the sequences where like the ships just move real slow
Yeah.
and dock
And that
And I
was
love
the
new.
big
That was
stand
new. That was
parabola.
all new and
Yeah.
and really
Yeah.
impressive. Really impressive.
Yeah,
All
just
right.
fun.
But okay. So should we give you our
Let's hear it.
Yes.
all right, go ahead, Seth.
Okay, me.
Yeah.
Okay, so for my suggestions,
Mhm.
I want to start introducing some animation.
Oh, I'm
Into
excited
the
about
running.
this. Gina will be very happy about this.
You're welcome, Gina.
Yeah.
I'll give some.
I was so upset that you've already seen Chicken Run because I wanted to watch Chicken
Yeah,
Run
we talked about this off air.
because
What-
it's the movie that inspired the Academy to create a Best Animated Feature Oscar.
Okay.
And I'm sad that you've already seen it because I love that movie.
I'm very sorry.
But both of these have won Academy Awards. So my suggestions are Spirited Away. It's a Studio Ghibli film.
Okay.
He
It
has
is
no
2
idea what that
hours and
means.
5
No.
minutes.
It's how long?
2 hours and 5 minutes.
Yeah, all of these need to start coming with like the
Duration.
duration.
And my second one is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It is 1 hour and 56 minutes.
Okay.
It's sad that I have to give you the duration for you to like consider it. It's very sad.
That doesn't influence it unless it's like 3 hours like Godfather was.
Yeah.
But I
Well, see,
really
this was
I really
shorter.
liked Godfather.
Right, I was
so
gonna say
it's
that was
okay.
a positive
That was a
one.
positive one.
What's
Okay.
crazy is this one was shorter by like 30 minutes.
Yeah, but this it felt like an eternity. Anyways.
good.
All right.
It's good.
Go ahead, Caleb. What's yours?
Okay, so I will also do animations. I'm changing it up.
Okay.
Boom.
All right.
I'm going to say The Iron Giant,
Okay.
which is one of my favorite animated films.
Okay.
Like, oh, it's so good. Brad Bird, woo, so good. Jennifer Aniston is in it too. It's like, what? No way. And then the other one is Soul. It's a Pixar film.
Okay,
Soul.
so I've seen Soul. So that
It's-
one's out.
I mean, I'm happy that
Yeah.
you saw it
Yeah,
because that's
yeah.
a really good one.
Gina
that
and
did
I
not
watched
get
it.
as much. I watched it and I was like, whoa.
I thought it was really good as well.
I thought it was great. I thought it wasn't as good as Inside Out, but I thought it was like so good, and I just didn't feel like it didn't get the
Do you want to change yours to Inside Out? Because I haven't seen that.
yes Inside Out then.
Okay, holy
Oh,
cow.
dude.
Almost jumped over this table.
Please. Okay, so Iron Giant, Inside Out, and then what were yours?
Mine were Spirited Away and Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay. I'm going to ask some clarifying questions
Okay.
Okay, we're
for
getting.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes,
Oh, it's so good.
it's very good.
Do I have to see any of the other
Oh,
Spider-Man
no,
movies?
it's a
Nope.
self-contained.
Yeah.
Okay.
Completely.
And even though it's like Spider-Verse, like multiverse thing,
Yeah.
this is the
makes
first
sense.
movie in the lineup, and they give like backstory. So you
Okay.
don't have to have read
Okay.
comics or like you can pick it up from
All right.
just this.
So I am going to choose Into the Spider-Verse then.
Great.
That's going to be my
I
choice.
so
love-
excited.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's gonna be.
That's
fun.
going to be my
gonna-
choice. I've heard a lot of great things about that one.
And
People
it's a good
people
time.
watching this right now are like losing their mind. They're like, how has he not seen this? Because it was such
it's
a
good
huge
timing
He
because they're
doesn't
coming
watch
out with a
movies.
sequel soon.
Yes, they are.
So you can watch it and then
There
watch
we
the
go.
sequel.
Which I'm excited.
There we go.
I'm very excited to see the second one.
Yeah. All right.
I like the first one a lot.
Yes.
Well, Gina will be excited about this one.
Can I say
Yes.
it is not 2001: Space Odyssey. It's
Thank
just a very
goodness.
straightforward.
If you guys make me watch something
Yeah.
like that again,
oh come on! Oh, we're gonna. Oh,
wait,
we're gonna.
I need something that was made like this. Last 10 years.
No, we're gonna keep.
We can
giving
do a
some
little
old
of
ones.
everything.
We're gonna.
Yeah.
We'll
I
slide
like the
them in there.
variety. I
Yeah,
like the variety.
The variety has
Yep.
been really good.
Yep.
I'm gonna suggest both of those movies again at some point.
Okay.
But
All right.
those are good ones as well, and Spirited Away is great.
Yeah, it's a
So
great movie.
anything from the studio is fantastic. So
Is Spirited Away? Is that the Japanese animation studio?
Yep.
yeah.
Studio Ghibli. I've
Yeah.
heard
Yeah.
of that
It's-
before.
it's
That's
awesome.
why. That's why I'm
it's
asking.
it's different.
Oh,
It
okay.
is
Yeah, yeah,
definitely
yeah.
different. It's not your typical animation. So
Right.
Yeah.
it's
'Cause it's like-
really good.
It's weird because it's like it's anime, but it's different anime.
Yes.
It's not like what you would think of anime.
Right.
I'm gonna end this on a. I think I want to try something.
Okay.
All right. To our audience, okay, we're gonna leave you something to comment on underneath this video, like a little discussion,
Okay.
and we'll be in there, and we'll look at the answers, and we'll respond to a few of them.
Cool. Yeah, definitely.
We're gonna cut it right after I ask the question.
Yeah. And
Okay.
please be
Okay.
nice with your comments. We're very fragile.
No, be mean. Be mean.
It's okay. Just know. I mean, just be courteous. We're a nice group here. Okay.
Hang on. Before you ask the question,
Okay.
I'll just say thanks.
right.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Like, subscribe, follow. You can
Thanks.
see us on Spotify, Apple, like all over the place. YouTube.
YouTube.
Just
This is the first video episode.
yeah.
So they can see our face.
What do you think of our faces?
We got
Be
fancy.
kind.
Be-
But yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Follow us, like us, share it with your friends, and
Yep.
then go ahead, Colton, ask the question right into that camera over there.
All right. So, be nice in the comments. But is Pokemon an anime?